so welcome to week 2 of my video blog reviews of Young Justice. Today I'll be talking about episode 16, Complications, which, goodness, complications indeed. I really feel like every single episode, some point is resolved, but then, a billion other points come out of it, and it just getting, snowballing and getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm like, how are they going to resolve all this? Chances are they probably won't, because, Young Justice is canceled, and they probably were planning on, wrapping things up in season 3, because they, are, planning ahead and trying to leave things for season 3, should they have one, so, nothing's gonna be wrapped up in, a nice little bow, which, I mean, is actually good, because then, it leaves room for, fan fiction and fandom to do whatever it is that they want to do. Anyway, so, this episode opens with Aqualad, Artemis, and M'gann, which, yay, because I wanted them to come back, and they came back, and so I'm like, yay, they're back! And so Aqualad has been cured, and they're just sitting in his room, planning how they're going to get Ms. Martian out, because Black Manta has said that, oh, well, he's only giving her 24 hours to live. So that's kind of problematic for them, obviously. And basically what happens is, I mean, at one point, Artemis says to the camera, he's still not himself, because Aqualad's still pretending to be comatose, and then she thinks, but then who is? And that line kills me, because Artemis is my favorite character, and I love her story arc from season 1, and just her having identity issues is so incredibly sad to me, because it's almost like her story, she's backtracking in terms of character growth, which I mean she really isn't, because the fact that she's having these identity issues is more growth in itself, but it's she came so far in all of last season, and she even made it to college, and she's gonna be a normal functioning adult teenager adult type person, and then she's back in this, she's got sucked back into this world, and that's just, oh, I mean, it was really nice to see Calder being alive and taking control and being leader and level-headed again he was in all of season 1, but then seeing Artemis like that, and then seeing M'gann still so hung up on her insecurities about her self-worth and stuff. It's really depressing, and it's it was nice to see the old team doing their thing, but with all of these additional baggage, it was nostalgia, but horribly depressing nostalgia, not even good nostalgia, which I'll get to. There's good nostalgia later, but that was just really sad nostalgia, and I was freaking out while watching it. And then, of course, the B plot of this episode is that Nightwing is still trying to find the rest of the new team, because they disappeared off the world because Blue Beetle knocked them all out, and they went and disappeared somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I don't know, that entire thing, I was just so I thought Jaime at first was this, having a kind of Jekyll and Hyde moment, where he's still a good guy, but he has this weird freak takeover by the Reach and the Scarab, but apparently he's actually fully become a horrible person, which is so depressing, because he was such a good guy, and everyone liked him, and I liked him, and he's at first everyone was oh, who is this random guy in a blue suit, but he's just a really endearing character, and to see him turned like that, I mean, of course, Greg Wiseman is known for killing people's emotions, but that's just a new level of emotional killing, and gosh, that's just not fair. And so, of course, you have this whole his cover story where he pretends he's oh, I just this boom tube opened, which I don't know if boom tubes exist in this universe. That's not been very clear. And then I don't know, it's still his cover up was a little weird though, because I felt Jaime as a person would want to save his team instead of just flying upwards on instinct because a boom tube opened. He would be oh frick, a boom tube, oh, I'm gonna grab my teammates and then fly up, but I guess not. Okay then. And I mean, okay, so back to Black Manta's submarine, you have Artemis' sister and her father, Cheshire and Sportsmaster, coming in to get revenge. And Cheshire wants to get revenge on Aqualad for killing Artemis, because she actually cares about her sister, even though they're not really on the best terms. But of course, Sportsmaster, being the horrible, horrible father he is, just wants to get back at Black Manta because it screwed his rep over. I don't know, he's just an awful father. It's horrible. But and I don't know, somehow I knew this was coming, because I remember because there was a scene with Cheshire a couple episodes back where she was Aqualad is mine, he's dead. But it was very shocking to me, and very oh god, I don't need more Croc family feels, this is going to just end horribly. And then when Artemis leaves to go get coffee, I was just this is the worst timing in the world. Like, of course this happened. Which, I mean, it's cliche, but at the same time, it still hits you hard every time it happens. At least it does for me. And then, really randomly, we got to see Slade's face. Like, you don't see his face through all of Teen Titans in, like, what, 4 seasons? And then, like, throwaway moment in Young Justice, you get to see Slade's face, which, I mean, of course, every animator does it differently. And his face is, he's kind of just like this dude with a beard and a ponytail. Like, he's not really all that exciting. It's a little anticlimactic, but it's just very, like, whoa. You got to see his actual face. He's not just this weird robot dude with, like, an orange and black mask. And then, I don't know, it was just the entire sequence where Sportsmaster and Cheshire are invading the submarine and, like, Sportsmaster's chasing Black Manta and Artemis gets involved in that fight, and then, like, Cheshire is, like, has, holding Aqualad and M'gann in Aqualad's room. Like, it's very, like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around it. It's so, like, so much is going on at once. And it's just, like, all this fighting and, I don't know, like, I was a little bit, like, detached while watching because I was like, I just can't even, like, cope with watching all this stuff going on at the same time. And then, of course, when we got to, like, M'gann, like, explaining everything to Cheshire and, like, bringing them all into, like, Artemis's memory, which I feel like she's been doing a lot, but I mean, it works. Like, it works as, like, a method of explanation. It's a little bit deus ex machina, but it works. And it's just, that was a nice moment because it was just, like, it was nice to see that, like, Cheshire really does care about her sister. Okay, her name isn't really Cheshire. Her name is Jade, but Cheshire is her, like, villain name. And, like, as much as she's, like, kind of a villain, which, I mean, she's still not really anymore. It's kind of, like, whenever it suits her purposes. Like, it's kind of Catwoman-esque. Cheshire, like a cat. Oh, gosh. Too many of these little connections. But, like, it was just nice to see, like, that, like, affection there. Because I feel like, you know, like, the whole female relationships thing and a lot of shows do a good job with bromance. They don't necessarily always do a good job with, like, female friendships and, like, female, like, sisterly relationships. And it was nice that there's, like, as much as there's a lot of antagonism because they're technically on opposite sides of the, like, the law, they're still, like, they still care about each other. Of course, Sportsmaster continues to be an asshole until Artemis, like, kicks him in the face to, like, prove to him that she's her, which, I mean, gosh, that moment was so glorious. Like, Artemis, like, kicking people in the face, that hasn't happened in so long, and I love it, and I miss it. And that was good nostalgia. I was like, yes, parallels. Boot to the face, again. And, oh gosh, I was really excited. People thought I was weird. My roommate thought I was weird. And, oh gosh, that was a good moment. But then, the rest of it, when M'gann is, like, escaping and pretending to be evil as her, like, escape, like, her evil M'gann is scary. Like, when she plays it up with Cheshire to pretend to, like, attack her or, like, let her lead, it's just, I know M'gann, like, goes evil in some of the comics, but, like, actual evil M'gann, like, if that had happened, that's really scary. Like, major props to Danica McKellar for doing a good job of, like, villain, but, like, not over the top. Like, especially considering, like, the extent of her powers. Like, she's a very frightening person. Like, I would maybe not want to, like, be on her bad side. That would be really bad. And so, I don't know, like, the end is a little bit anticlimactic when she kind of just, like, when M'gann, like, has all her powers back, because her, like, inhibitor color isn't, like, on anymore, and she just kind of, like, density shifts out of the submarine and leaves. Which, I mean, it's nice to see that she can density shift now, like, she couldn't do that in season 1, and, like, it's, like, a little, like, subtle, like, growth of character thing, but it was just, like, oh, and then she's out kind of moment, and that was strange. And of course, then you had to, like, wrap up the B-plot, too, so you have Nightwing, like, seeing on TV as Blue Beetle is introduced to the public as, like, the savior who, like, saved the world from the war world, which, this is bad, because now everyone knows that Blue Beetle's working with the Reach, and of course Nightwing is very upset, and then there's, like, and then, like, Blue has this moment where he's just like, thank you to the Reach for saving, like, giving a regular human like me the powers to save the world, and, like, this is really bad. This is gonna end really badly, because all this, like, brainwashing of the Reach is so, like, I know it's, like, it's definitely, like, oh, look, we're awesome, JK, we're actually, like, taking over your world kind of situation, but, like, it kind of frightens me. Like, this is not good, and I don't know. I mean, like, of course it's supposed to frighten me, because it's not good, they're the bad guys, but, like, it just, it's also really saddening just to see Jaime's character have, like, progressed to this point. And then, of course, okay, this part is just, like, I couldn't take this seriously with, like, Nightwing when he was so angry and he, like, broke the Batarang. And I know it's supposed to be, like, I'm so angry, I'm just gonna break this moment, but, like, it just reminded me of the scene in Mean Girls where she breaks the crown and, like, what's his face, the guy friend, the gay guy friend is just like, oh no! And, like, I just couldn't take it seriously. It was so bad. But, Okay, that was complications. I like don't even know what's going to happen next episode because it's so like what is going on? Like there's just too much stuff going on now. Obviously we're gonna like build up to like a reach invasion. But okay, that's it. So bye everybody.